Today we got to do something that I really don't like doing, but unfortunately it's not up to me, so here it is. Now, the reason I even decided to show this is not because I'm proud of it, but because I know this is something that will definitely come in handy for some of you guys out there. Maybe you're a newer painter that has never seen something like this, or maybe you're a small shop owner that has never thought of this or seen this. Fortunately for me, when I first started painting, I was painting with a older guy who was the king of shortcuts, which may or may not have been a good thing. I don't know, but I can say a lot of the shortcuts that I learned from him came in handy. Doesn't mean I'm proud of them or that I enjoy taking shortcuts. It just means that sometimes these shortcuts come in handy. So today, the shortcut that we have is we're cutting a bumper basically. So this is a brand new BMW X6, X7 M60i. So it's like $110,000 truck, you know. So this is really not the car that you ever want to do something like this on. But if you're ever in a position where you have to do something like this, well, at least now you'll know how. So what you see me doing here is basically just back taping my body lines with my foam tape, because that's going to give me a nice soft edge for my clear to roll into. And we're going to cut our clear. I have it set to cut here because I don't know if I'm going to need the room, but realistically, I'm going to try to cut it on the skinniest part of the bumper. So we have our foam tape set on our body line, and then we took, I got them to take out the lights and pop the bumper out at least. So this thing is all set to go. Now, anytime you have to do something like this, the number one thing you're going to want to keep in mind whenever you're putting your material on is to keep it nice and tight, because if you, for example, go too far with your sealer where you have that foam tape, now you're going to run the risk of not being able to cover your sealer, because sealer tends to travel further because it's heavier than your base coat. Also, you're going to want to keep your color tight here, because you're going to want to make sure your color's not going to go further than your clear blend. So obviously keeping our sealer tight is going to help us keep our base coat tight, and keeping our base coat tight is going to make sure we keep our clear blend tight. All right, now I kind of had a little issue here with my sealer. So what I did was I just went and grabbed some of my reducer that I use for my sealer, and I'm just taking all that crap out with a little reducer on a rag. Then we'll let it dry, and I'll throw a coat of base on, and then once we have base on, I'll sand out whatever's still here. This wasn't supposed to be part of the video, but as you can see, this is the life of a painter, where things just kind of, go sideways every once in a while. All right, so we got that taken care of. Pretty good, pretty decent, I should say. Hopefully we don't have to sand anything now, but we'll find out. What I ended up doing was just wet sanding that after I hit it with the reducer. And why that happened is because I chose to try to nib a piece of dirt out of my sealer rather than doing it in my base. That's why I always tell everyone, if you have to sand your sealer, you're better off putting a coat of base on it first and then sanding it down, because that sealer is really rubbery, and if it clogs your sandpaper and then it just starts ripping the sealer apart, like it's just a pain in the ass. So that's why I always say just throw a coat of base on top of your sealer. No matter how your sealer looks, but it was one little spot. I thought I could get away with it. So what I'm doing here is just giving this a coat of color first, since it was a different color underneath. And then we'll throw a coat of color on everything all together. Okay, it looks good. So I got my fan turned in, probably about 2 turns here. We're just gonna give this thing a nice wet coat. Focusing on keeping our color nice and tight. Okay, so what you can do is you can check your tape to see how far your color is going. So you can see our color stops right about there, which is perfect because I realistically don't want to have to blend my clear here. I really want to try to keep it in this very small part of the bumper here. All right, so it's the next day, because when things went south yesterday, it was the end of the day. And as a painter, sometimes you just got to know when to step away and accept defeat. So we came in this morning, blocked it down, got it all fixed. Now we're ready to lay some clear. So that's what we're going to do. And the cool thing about this is going to have time to dry. So by the end of the day, I'm going to show you how to handle that clear blend and how it comes out.
All right, so on our first coat of clear, we want to keep our clear pretty tight, just like we did with our color. So we're not going to bring it as far as we intend on going on the second coat. So the way I'm going to do that is turn my gun this way, and I'll stop right at the edge right there. So that's our first coat. We'll come back, hit it with a second coat, go a little further, and then I'll show you how I melt that clear in the easy way. All right, here goes our second coat. And now we're going to bring our clear just a touch further. And you see how I kind of faded it out right there? Now what we're going to do is switch over from our clear to our reducer. So that reducer is the same reducer I put in my clear when I reduce my clear. All right, so we have our reducer in here. I have my pressure at 5 psi, and I have my fan pretty closed. Now all we're going to do is just dust it right over that area where our clear fades out. Just like that. Now we'll bake this thing, and then later in the day, I'm going to show you guys how I handle this blend and how it looks when it's all finished.
Okay, I unfortunately didn't get to show you guys how I would have taken care of this because our buffer already took care of it. But all he did was compound it. And I mean, you literally can't even see where we did that blend. Sorry I didn't get to show you guys, but literally all he did was compound pad, 3M compound pad, 3M compound, and just went over it. And that's it. It's really that easy. And all I did was shoot the reducer at a low pressure on the edge like you guys saw, and you would never know that we cut clear there. Anyway, that's going to be it for this one, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, got any value out of it, or if you were entertained, if you could, drop a like, comment, or maybe even subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you guys. Until the next time, peace.